Divine greetings, masters. Thank you so much for joining. Very good evening, good morning, and good afternoon from whichever part of the world you are joining in, masters. Thank you so much. This is VSoni, welcoming you all to Light and Soul Meditation English Group. So, masters, today I am going to start with the Swadhyaya of page number 158 to 167. So, the Swadhyaya is on your soul's plan, and this book has been written by Robert Schwartz. And in this book, we are actually getting to know about how we have planned beforehand about our soul journey and this particular incarnation in which we are living in. So, masters, here, this is like the story that we are going through from last week, basically, this week. It is on drug addictions and alcoholism. So I have been given the latter part of it, and here we are actually going into Pat's story, Patrick's. So Patrick is, one second, masters. Let me mute everyone, and then we'll go ahead. Yeah. Okay. So here we are actually talking about Patrick's story. So who is Patrick? Patrick is a person who is married to, he married twice. First, he was married to Carol, and from her, he had three children. It was Kathy, Donna, and Andrew. And then he married Shirley. So, but here, Robert Schwartz is actually telling us about why people take on alcoholism, and that is one such thing that is there in people's lives when they are trying to learn something. So in this case, Patrick is actually learning how to get out of fear and anger. These are the two things that, I feel that he's getting out of. Whereas in case of, when we talk about Shirley, her soul plan is to get out of impulsiveness, and that is what she is actually fighting. Basically, her karmic challenge is Shirley's karmic challenge is to overcome too much of impulsiveness. And basically, in her several lifetimes, she has gone into she had been having lots and lots of babies, and there was a sexual compulsiveness where it came into her. And uh, with alcoholism, basically she could have chosen something else, but she chose alcoholism, which would help her overcome her impulsiveness, which is so difficult for her, because when a person takes alcohol, they are under the influence of that substance, and they don't even know what they're doing. But surely at this time, she chose this particular habit, particular alcoholism. And then with Pat, basically Pat had been shown that he's sitting with three other people when the soul plan is done, and Stacy is actually looking into his soul plan, where he's sitting with his spirit guide and one other person, which has a very much larger stature. It's basically as if that person is Patrick's uncle. So these three people were plotting against Patrick, basically not against, but um, planning soul plan for Patrick, and they were working. So now I will actually go, and I will actually let you know about how this journey started, where um, Patrick is actually going through a lot of alcoholism issue, how his life is, going. So let me start with that. Patrick is married to Carol and then Shirley. So Patrick has three daughters, two daughters and one son from Carol. Shirley is his second partner. And so here they are telling us about the ancestral patterns that Patrick had, because in his ancestors, Patrick had his ancestors making liquor. So liquor making was there, homemade liquor, and they used to drink also. But it was not a habit. Basically, they were not habitual of that. They could, but they were not in that habit of drinking too much of alcohol. They used to, but it was just on and off. Then there was another thing. There was a sole agreement between Shirley and Pat, and there was a great deal, because why they chose between Shirley and Patrick, because they chose unconditional love. So it was a great deal of love between these two at soul level, and they were friends also in many lives together. And so that is why they came together in this lifetime to work on their alcoholism. Same way, they are working on the same issue together, hand in hand, and that is why Shirley also says that no, I will join you. And then the uncle who is there with the planning when they were doing the planning, so uncle is there who says to Pat that, are you sure you want to do this? So Pat says, yes, it's the only way I'm ever going to learn to be unafraid. So because why he was afraid? Because in his past life, Pat had been uh, Pat had been learning to be unafraid, and he was afraid because of his father, and also working on letting go of his fear. Because in one past life, he was actually, that fear came from that being a soldier where he died at the age of 19. And in his past life, he died very young. So because everywhere there was war and people were dying, and he also basically died very young in his past life, and he was walking alone in the battlefield of fallen soldiers, and where that also where he got killed. So it was the fear. They have expressed this fear in the form of like as if there was a bile rising in your throat, basically that acid coming out till your throat. That kind of fear he had experienced. So he was the last survivor, and that fear he could not forget. So this is the fear that he is actually coming out of. So fear was like bile rising in his throat. And in his another second past lifetime, he was actually being attacked by red Indians, or Indians as they say. And he was traveling in a wagon. He had covered himself up, but still he got killed. So they were the earlier settlers, where Patrick in his past life, he was an earlier settler, but there also he got killed. He was attacked. And so there were a lot of things that Patrick had carried in his subsequent lifetimes. But the feeling of fear, this emotion basically had left unhealed in many previous lives. So he chose alcoholism to bring into this life, where he could, he chose this journey with Shirley and Carol. So here they share that there is somebody who understands it rather than. So with Shirley, why he chose was that here Shirley actually understands what he is going through. She is not judging him, but she is actually helping him where she understands, and helping him let him go through this not natural course of development rather than forcing him to change. So we are not to change anybody forcibly. When you have any alcoholism issue, we should not change, but give them that space, that love, unconditional love and understanding, so that we can help. So that is why he chose Shirley as his partner. And so she never demanded that he should stop drinking. Anyway, and then Shirley lovingly and totally affectionately held him, granting him both her and him for spiritual growth, towards spiritual growth. So she helped. But there was this warning also, that there was this warning by the spirit guides, that there is a warning here about how rough life was going to be, especially childhood. And that you, Pat, wouldn't be given a chance to shake loose from the tree. That is, the tree being the father. You wouldn't be given a normal process of development that a boy goes through. In this case, the tree was taken from you. So because in this life, in Patrick's life, his father had died young when he was only 19. So he did not had any male figure to look, when you grow up, you see your parents, how they are doing, and you have some sets of, particular things, how to go on with particular situations, challenges, or how to, you don't have that understanding. So in this case, Patrick did not had anyone. So it was a rough childhood where there was not a normal process or a normal process of development that a boy goes through. So, so here Stacy is actually talking and giving the guidance, but Rob asks that, was his father, like, did his father decide that he would go that early? So they say that no, father did not decide on this particular soul plan or pre-birth plan, that he did not want to die. But still, because Patrick chose that he want to go through this particular development, so in his soul plan, he had this plan. So it was his free will, basically. So Anyway, so now his father's death at an early age would set Patrick's experiences, which would lead him to alcoholism. And yes, he knew before incarnation that he would be an alcoholic for several decades. So Pat wanted to focus on spiritual growth in this lifetime. And so here there was a question, why he wanted to experience this alcoholism. The healing of fear was one motive, but it was that, Patrick wanted to see if there was, Rob wanted to see if there was more to Pat's pre-birth plan. So because he had lost his connection with all that is God, with his own divine nature and spirituality, that this was the road to rediscover it. Because in many lifetimes, he had experienced fear and anger. So he wanted to experience this, that he had forgotten that there was a thing called God, or that all that is around us is God, and God is where we have this divine nature in us. And spirituality is one such thing that, you have to experience. When you experience different emotions, you experience this feeling of that all that is around you is God. So through alcoholism, he wanted to come around to this topic of all that is God. So he chose alcoholism. Now I'm going to start with 158 page. I'll go quickly, masters, but still. So here they were actually discussing about, making a connection with God, building experience by building it, and deeply knowing about the connection with God. So there had also been instance where I felt we had reached the core of Pat's life blueprint. Now that so here Robert Schwartz is talking about how Pat has decided his life blueprint, and Rob was eager to understand why he had felt his plan would work. So Pat's objective was totally like he would totally disconnect from all that is God and then create God connection and experience it as a building experience and entering spirituality. So through it, like how we have read in the past class, masters, that during that time when he drank beer only, and his whole body was paralyzed, he could not move anything. There he found that he was mentally he was asking for help, and he got that help. So same way, the return to seeking and achieving spiritual connection is motivated by the total lack of it, which alcoholism causes, Stacy pointed out. In other words, so Stacy is the guide, as you all know. And in other words, Pat had designed a classic learning through opposites life plan. He had wanted to heal unresolved fear from a previous life and experience, while in body, a strong connection with God. Prior to birth, he had identified alcoholism as the catalyst that could drive him towards those goals. So Pat had, opposite, like he had planned a life where everything was opposite to him, and it was a risky plan, but still he planned it and it worked. So here Robert again says that this is a question, that what if Pat bottomed out with alcohol and stayed there? There was risk in his plan. I asked Stacy, so Rob asked Stacy if Pat knew before birth that he would be able to turn things around. So Stacy says that I am told that this has to do with the cyclical timing in his life, she replied, as she listened to a spirit guide. He knew that by a certain age, at the end of the certain cycle, he would have the wherewithal to overcome the addiction and meet his goals. So he knew. This is like how we say that we become at a certain point of our life. We know cognizantly that we know somehow that this is going to happen with me, or this is how I'm going to change my life. This is how I'm going to get out of alcoholism. So at the beginning of this session, Stacy has mentioned that Pat has been balancing karma through his relationships, a common purpose of physical lifetime. So Stacy, Rob asked, what does alcoholism allow Pat to accomplish in regard to relationships? So what does alcoholism allow Patrick to accomplish in regard? So what he had accomplished with regards to alcoholism in his relationship. So the relationship with the substance becomes primary over the emotional relationship with others. After so many decades, you realize that this bottle does not take the place of true unconditional love. So masters, it is always mentioned everywhere that wherever there is unconditional love, you actually earlier the substance abuse or alcoholism can put you separate from everything. And it can also ruin your relationships with people. But then once you understand that there is unconditional love, when people give you that love, when your relationships give you that unconditional love, then you come around this topic that yes, there is something called unconditional love and you can change. So your longing for unconditional love supersedes the longing for anesthesia. So where you want your body to go into that sleepy state or alcoholic state, you don't want that. You actually yearn for unconditional love, and that is what they are telling about. In general, Rob is being told that because of Patrick has been told that that because of alcoholism, you experience the lack of relationships, and that motivates you to want relationships. So this is how what alcoholism does is, you actually go through certain things in your life where you experience the lack of relationships, because when you're alcoholic, people would not like to come around you. They would not like to talk to you, because you reek of that smell, or maybe you talk rubbish or vulgar, whatever it is. But then what happens is, or you are in that angry state, but then that also motivates you to want relationships. So very true, Pat agreed. So yeah. Now there's another question that Rob asked that Stacy, if he had considered other challenges like having a handicapped child, so why he has to choose alcoholism? Why can't he could have a handicapped child? So she says, Stacy says that that Stacy says that I am being told that being a handicapped child's parent was not in his experiential awareness. So that was not at all in his experiential awareness. And he had just come from a lifetime where he had seen the other soldiers around him using alcohol, not just for their wounds. So there was no child in his life, in his past lives also, where he could have experienced any such thing called as any awareness with children. But he itself was a young man. He was not a adult man where he had children, but he was always in that younger state. So there was no experience or no awareness about children. So that's when he was around soldiers, and the soldiers would always use alcohol for their wounds and also for their sight. So so Stacy's response confirmed that he had seen in others pre-birth planning that souls often select challenges to which they have some previous exposure. So whenever we have any previous exposure, we choose only that kind of soul plan. So Rob again says to Stacy, asked Stacy that I said, as you know, we always have free will. What would have happened with Pat's goals if he had chosen never to drink? So then Stacy, after a long pause, she says that, that experience would not have been as intense. She said it might have taken an additional lifetime or two to rise to this challenge. So if he would have taken a free will or something, then the experience would not be intense, but he would have to take at least one or two more lifetimes to get around this topic, to actually get out of this, challenge. He would have married, he would have several children, but the anger would have stayed with him. He likely would not have been an emotionally available parent. He probably would have chosen an addiction to work instead being emotionally intimate, nurturing, and available. Still would have been a challenge, and he would not have learned in this lifetime. So that is what he says, that he would not have been emotionally intimate, nurturing, or available, and still would have been a challenge. So now, because Stacy had shared this particular information, it actually occurred to Rob that there were probably many times when Pat would have happily traded an addiction to alcohol for an addiction to work. So definitely this could have happened where he could have traded this with work. But then maybe it would have also resulted in a less painful life, would have also resulted in less growth, spiritual growth. And so he thinks that how many recovered alcoholics, I wondered, viewed their drinking with it. So so Rob wondered how many alcoholics might have recovered and they would have thought about this behavior or this habit of drinking as regret, perhaps believing that they had wasted years of their lives. How many judged themselves for what they perceived as weakness? What if they knew this was exactly the experience they had desired? How would their feelings change if they realize that alcoholism has accelerated their growth inside? So these are some set of questions that this questioning is going on. How many and how much and all those things. So basically, and maybe it might have taken one or two more incarnations to experience all those things. So we had just heard why both Pat and Shirley had planned the experience of alcoholism. Now I wanted to see if other significant people in Pat's life, his first wife, children, had chosen before birth to have an alcoholic husband and father. So now Robert again asked Stacy to listen to pre-birth conversations between the family members. Like, so now it's about Kathy's time. Here we are talking about Kathy. So Stacy goes into that trance state and then sees that Kathy is coming into a light body. She's not in that humanoid form, but in a light body, which is radiant, very caring, very nurturing, and she's an empathic soul. So here she says that, Kathy is Kathy is his daughter, Patrick's first daughter. So she says that, how can I help you? With that emphasis on I. So she gets that feeling of very empathic, caring, nurturing soul, and basically it is being told that Kathy is also Patrick's guide, and she's also a teacher. And as a teacher to Pat in previous lifetimes, she had agreed to play a part in Pat's life. And although she agreed her role was not quite determined, but still she chose that challenge, and now she's helping Pat. She's also sitting down with Pat to determine what he needs from her. So Pat talks about his life with life will be aimless or directionless. That is rudderless, they have written. So very strongly that my life would be aimless. How will you help? So Kathy says that, Pat says that, yes, Kathy, I will show you the direction. You will show me the direction and you will give me strength from time to time. Definitely you are my child, but I always know who you are. That in his like his higher self always know that this Kathy is his teacher in his past lives, and she's also acting as a guide also for him. So although I am a father of you and I have a great responsibility towards you as a child, but some part of me will see that brightness in you, and I will know at that inner level that I must follow the direction you lead me. So now Kathy smiles and nods her head in agreement. So Kathy also says, but I need you too, to show me the way, because I will be your child, and because I will be dealing with issues of self-esteem, and I will feel lonely at times. I will need comfort and I will reach out to you at that particular time. So Pat basically puts both of his hands on on her light body, and on her, as if, putting his hands on her shoulders. So Kathy talks to him and about one of her purposes in this life to find balance in regard to individuality, meaning where she ends and someone else's begins. She talks about how she will have the strong tendency to take on another person's pain and feel another person's problem, because she's an empathic soul. She can feel Patrick's pain and problems and all those challenges. So Kathy says that I will use you at a part of this purpose to help me find my balance and learn how to delineate between myself and my own circumstances and feelings, and those that belong to another. Because I will be your daughter and love you deeply, I will have a tendency to take on your pain and feel your emotions, though I may not understand them. So Pat says, yes, yes, I know. Kathy then says, I will look to you for guidance and to mirror me, to show and remind me who I am. It is up to me to learn. I do not demand that you take on the responsibility of ensuring that I learn this lesson. This is mine and mine alone. So she asks specifically that you just need to remind me. You are not going to you're not going to help me off with anything, because this is my responsibility. I'm going to take this responsibility where I'm going to ensure that this is my lesson. I'm going to work on this and by myself alone. So you are going to act as a guide for me in your own way. I expect nothing more from you. So Pat says, I love you. I will welcome you as my daughter when the time comes. So Kathy says, I'll stay here until that time. When you need me, you can call me in your sleep, and I will be one of many in your dreams. So whenever he needs anyone, he can call on Kathy and she will come. So now the conversation has ended. Now Stacy goes into another relationship, that is Donna. So Donna is in this humanoid form. She's a 9 or 10-year-old in this human figure where her hairs are in pigtails, and that is how they have picturized her, look. And so then Rob asks why she is looking like that. So then Stacy says because she, in her past lifetime, she had chosen, like, not past lifetime, but the coming lifetime where she is going to incarnate, she's going to take that, look. So she's actually practicing it beforehand. So that is how they have told. So now there's the conversation between Stacy and the guide. And is that how Pat would have seen her in the conversation? Yes, my guide says it is the soul wearing the cloak of the personality and the physicality it will take on in that lifetime. Part of the pre-birth planning is learning to recognize certain physical identifying markers. 98% of the time, there are markers embedded into the unconscious of a person that help them to recognize soulmates in their lives. So by soulmates, I knew Stacy and her guide meant important people, not just romantic partners. So now Donna and Patrick's conversation is going on. So Patrick says, I want you to be in my life so I can hold you, cherish you, and give you guidance, and so you can show me the path before me and lead me where I need to go. So Donna says, Daddy, I need for you to be mean sometimes. So where now Donna is asking Daddy, that is Patrick, to be mean, like he will show meanness, he will reject her, and to that will actually help Donna to go within and look into herself so that her own growth happens, right? Spiritual growth. So basically, I need this because it reminds me in a very strong way to be who I am. Though at first it will look like it makes me self-conscious and full of doubt, it is part of my growth. This is the part of path I need to walk in this lifetime. This is what I need you to do for me. Pat his daughter to be on the head and agrees. So Pat says, I'm sorry for what will happen, but I love you. Like I love you as much as I know this needs to be. I'm sorry I will cause you to feel pain. So before even this happened, they are actually discussing that you might go into pain, and I'm really sorry for all the pain that I will be causing you. But because you want it, so you have to feel pain, but I'm sorry for it. So beforehand, advance. So Donna takes his hand, the hand that was patting her on her head, and holds it to her heart. No, you will not be causing the pain. It is my choice. I am responsible for it. So Donna says that this will be my choice. So anyhow, and then she leaves. So now I'm asking my guide to show me more. So now Carol comes. Now another life partner, Carol. So Carol is the Pat's first wife. She's dressed in what I can say prairie clothes. So if you know people living here in Chicago or on this zone, we have this prairie fields, where people during the winter times there is no work, nothing. It's all snow, but during summer times it's very much that everyone depends on the harvest, whatever you have pour seeds on in the field, you actually cut them, and that is your money, that is your energy, that is your currency, everything. So people who are working, they actually wear prairie clothes. So how those clothes are made? They are made out of cotton calico. So that material is said, and it's in the mid 1800s that Carol has can be seen in that in those clothes, because during those time she used to wear these cotton clothes. Her hair is pulled back as life in Missouri, how people live there. So that is the time and that is the period and place that they are showing in that soul planning. So this was the same state, Missouri. They are talking about Missouri, that this was the same state in which Pat had planned to commit suicide in his current lifetime. They had one child. They and the other two families were attacked by Indians. And so here they are using this word. We used to say scalped. Attacked meaning scalped. But they look beheaded to me. So basically their neck were cut off. Scalped, like basically beheaded. So there was no head. That is how they were attacked. That is how they were killed. So Carol agrees to be with Pat in this lifetime so she can have all she was supposed to in the previous life. A hard time. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah. A hard life is one of those things. Children's are the other part. So say Stacy, he asked, does she say why she wanted to marry someone who experiences alcoholism? So Robert is questioning. So Stacy asks the guide, and then here Pat and Carol are talking again. So again, the soul planning picture is there. Pat says, I will likely have problems with drink and emotional unavailability. Carol says, if you will do it my way, you will not have this problem. So she shakes her fingers at him. So during the show, soul planning also, there is something that is being discussed between Carol and Patrick. So at first, Patrick feels very sad about that. But then if he is not living up to her expectations, but then I see him sit up straight and say, Pat says, then I need to be in your, that I need to be in your life to show you that life is not just one way, that life cannot be made of just black and white. I must be there to show you shades of gray. That means when he chooses alcoholism, it is also because Carol is there in his life and he wants to show that you can turn to spirituality, you can have that immense growth once you start, that not only, when Carol is saying that, if you choose what I am planning, then you won't have any problem. But he says, no, with this also, I won't have any problem, but I would go into my own spiritual growth. That kind of feeling they are talking about. So she's not happy about this. Carol is not happy about this. So she pinches her face, like as if when you say, right, you do this, right? So she pinches her face together in an upset look. Then she releases that resistance. So Carol says, I suppose you're right. Then I will open myself to you. I will take you into my heart in the hope that you can break the block, the impenetrable wall around my heart and emotions. I have only let my children in, but I will let you in also. I'm afraid this will mean that I will be hurt, but I will let you in because I know you love me and because I care for and love you too. So, because of the love, whatever it is she chooses, okay, I will be there in your life. I will let you break my heart, but still I will help. Still, I will welcome you in my heart after feeling all this hurt. So Pat takes her hands in his and holds them for a few moments. She nods and gets up suddenly, and then now there's another family member. Now Pat's son Andrew comes over and he says, he calls Pat Papa. So he talks about energy, he talks about hyperactivity, and he talks about perfectionism. So here Andrew has been shown that he's a very super intelligent person, very, very, extremely intelligent, hyperactive being who wants Pat to show him how to do grounding and how to ground his energies, basically. So now they are talking, Andrew and Pat. So Andrew says, I will always want more than I have. I will always strive for something more for myself and my life. So Pat says, yes, yes. Then Andrew says, sometimes I will lack balance and I will forget those around me who depend on and love me. So sometimes in our lives also, masters, we must have seen there are people in our lives who are, we feel that they're very selfish, they're more self-oriented. They take care of their own self and very hyperactive and very, like, it feels as if they are very selfish. So we need to see in a different perception, different set of eyes, with that, we will understand that in as much as I agree to be your son and do things that you need me to do, I need you to pull me back during those times when I am so filled with my own relentless energy that I forget my family and where my feet are and that they need to be on the ground. I need you to be the grounding point in my life, even when you yourself are not grounded. So where his father would be alcoholic, but at that time also Pat would help Andrew to get into the grounding state, so that I can remember that there are family people around me. If you don't remind me where the ground is, I will know by watching you where the ground is not. Your example serves me, is there to teach me the importance of not letting myself go too far and of staying focused. So basically, he's saying that because of this habit of alcoholism, many people, they forget about their family, they are in their own zone. So when children, they look at their parents like that, what they do, they get into that grounding state that we have to take care of the family. So that is how Andrew will come and help his own self by grounding himself, by looking at his father. So that is where Patrick and Andrew has this also soul plan. So uh, they talk about the extreme intelligence Andrew possesses. Andrew had spent lifetimes working on mechanical things, inventions. So he was working as an assistant in Einstein's lab, and he had never forgotten to that. He has never gotten to that place where he could see a project through from start to finish. He had always lose focus and go on to something else and wind up not being productive. So Andrew is taking this lifetime out from his scientific studies so he can work more on being focused, but achievement is still part of his nature. So definitely in this lifetime, he has chosen achievement as his part of nature. That incessant drive to do and be something will remain. He looks to his father to remind him to stay focused and grounded. So he chose Patrick as his father so that Andrew can remain focused on his work and be grounded. So Stacy now felt silent, and now she and her guide had finished their remarkable glimpse into the non-physical realm. So evidently, Pat's loved ones had been an integral part of the planning of his life challenge. So now there are definitely 2-3 pages or more there, masters, of different sets of questions where there are questions between Stacy, Pat, and Rob. Stacy is talking about, Rob is asking, please ask your guide what other reasons souls have for planning alcoholism. So guides are saying there are many. Stacy is responding that there are many, echoing her guide's words. Some of the souls who chose this are not comfortable in a physical body, and the alcohol becomes a means for them to live between two worlds. Others have made choices in past lives where they have abused others, and they balance that behavior by choosing to abuse their own body. So why many people choose alcoholism is because in the past lifetime they must have abused someone, and that is why, as a punishment or as a soul learning, in this lifetime they choose to abuse their own body. So Stacy's spirit guides is unfolding, like, is Stacy is telling that her spirit guide is actually showing that they are unfolding. There are different kinds of reasons. So they're as a way of showing, the spirit guide is unfolding an accordion. So when you unfold an accordion, there are sets of, back and forth, like how you play the music, right? You can see lots of layers. So there are lots of reasons. It can be many reasons. So very long list of reasons. So by choices, and also your free will decision made by the personality after birth, not to rules that have been scripted with other souls prior to incarnation. So had the abuse been agreed upon before birth by all involved, such karmic balancing would not be necessary. So if they would have planned before birth about all of this abuse and everything, so there would not be any karmic balancing required. But because it wasn't planned, so there is karmic balancing also. Um, so Robert was intrigued by the idea that a soul might be uncomfortable in a physical body. So he asked Stacy why that would be the case. Because they are here, the spirit guide has chosen this word that the soul might be uncomfortable. So there is another reason. So Stacy says that I am told it can be the next stage of evolvement. So they are not yet comfortable inhabiting the body at that new stage. So there are two kinds of things happening. Sometimes people who are born uh, severely retarded or with severe body problems are at a new level of involvement. So they get to live life more as an observer than as a participant. So here they are talking about Jennifer from chapter 3, whose sons Ryan and Bradley have planned physical handicaps, so they could be more in the role of observer. So sometimes the souls have to be in the role of observer, where they are in that freshly incarnated body where they are severely retarded, or also they have severe body problems, but they are just like an observer and as a participant. So there is another question: does next level of evolvement mean that most of those souls are incarnating for the first time, or does it mean they're taking on new lessons? More often than not, it's their first physical incarnation at a new level of evolvement, not their first physical incarnation. So this is a new level evolvement, but not the first physical incarnation, Stacy said, relaying that what she had heard from guide. So there are cases though when it is somebody's first physical incarnation, specifically people who have gone through other planetary schools then come to Earth. So when you come to Earth, you are basically in that state of, that you are firstly, you have done something earlier, but here on the planet Earth, this is your first time incarnating. So it is like the freshly evolvement in that. So then you are in that observer state. So what would motivate a soul to choose alcohol as opposed to any other drug addiction? Robert wondered. So sometimes it's what is available in that coming lifetime. So whatever is available, that you are going to incarnate with. Other times it is a substance that would react best with the body. Many times it is just the familiarity of it. So sometimes being familiar with that particular substance abuse is also helps you grow spiritually, or why you chose that particular problem or issue or challenge. As I understand it, humans weren't designed to consume alcohol at all. What does your guide has to say about that? So, guide, like here, Stacy says that my guide wholeheartedly agrees, except in those cases where fermented fruit has dropped to the ground, you will see animals eating that. Alcohol kills brain cells. So, apart from, if you have seen uh, during like people who are living here in Chicago, or people where they have um, winter, where the snow happens, what happens is during winter time, the berries from the crab apple tree, the berries they become fermented, and you can see birds coming and eating those fermented fruits. So that is not getting like doing anything to their body, but alcohol actually kills brain cells. So now he was confused by this response. If God is omniscient, then God knew that humans would eventually use grapes and other plant products to create alcoholic beverages. I asked why those things were put on earth if human body were not designed for alcohol consumption. So on hearing this, Stacy says that grapes and grape juice don't need to be fermented to benefit the body, and that in the early uses of wine, it was not an intoxicating substance. The other thing is temptation. That's one of the things Schoolhouse Earth gives us the opportunity to work with. So now, because you are tempted to do that, you get into that temptation to use that kind of thing. But earlier, this was not even there at first, in the earlier times when they were using wine. It was not that fermented. So soul's plans to experience. So Stacy says, uh, yeah, Stacy, your guide mentioned that some souls plan the experience of alcoholism because in past life they abused someone else's body and now choose to abuse their own. I wonder if we can get more explanation, because I know karma is a form of learning, not punishment. So Stacy says the spirit guide replied that souls do sometimes design lives in which they treat themselves in the same way they once treated others. He went on to say that in the afterlife, all souls are counseled on self-forgiveness. Some succeed in forgiving themselves without planning such an incarnation. Others do not. Some seek to use what they learn in the time between lives to aid others in the next lifetime. These souls plan lives in which they will be counselor to addicts. Some plan the experience of addiction into their life blueprints, so they may be more effective counselors later in life. So basically, first is forgiving themselves without addictions, and second, how you can do that, becoming counselors to another person who is an addict. So now there's another question. What Robert asked was that what is the difference between a soul who can forgive himself for abusing another person's body and one who can't? So Stacy says, by slowing her speech as she began to channel her spirit guide word for word. Clarity, remorse, evolvement. He replied. He explained that souls who remain focused on the abuse lose clarity and may therefore decide to punish themselves, and that self-forgiveness is a major step along the evolutionary path because it derives from unconditional love. So earth primarily serves the function of teaching you to let go of fear and love unconditionally. So here there are a lot of other references made to fear that made me think of the Pat had explained to heal his unresolved fear. Stacy, Rob asked that as I understand it, the soul takes energies and places them in the personality for the next lifetime so they can be healed. And is that a fair description? So another question here that Stacy was given by Robert was that as Robert understands that souls take energies and places them in the personality for the next lifetime. So it is the energy, how we, if we have anything unhealed, we actually automatically transfer in the next incarnation. That is what they are talking about. Next, so they can be healed. Is that a fair description? So Stacy says yes, guide says yes. So another question by the guide is, by Robert is, what does your guide say about the idea that negative emotions like fear cannot exist at higher vibrations on the other side? So Stacy says that's very true, but that doesn't mean every soul is at that level all the time. So the souls with these emotions are at a lower vibration on the other side, Robert says. Yes, my guide says to be very careful how you describe that lower vibration isn't accurate. Those souls who act as the higher spirit guides, the ones who no longer are in need of physical embodiment, have achieved that. So some guides are not in that lower vibrational state. They are that higher vibrational state who doesn't need that physical embodiment, but they are actually acting as a guide and they are helping other people. The ones who no longer are in the need of physical embodiment have achieved that, but that doesn't mean the rest of us are of any lesser value. He doesn't want this accidentally misinterpreted as a class system, because it's not. Another question, how does an emotion like fear survive physical death? So here, Stacy says it depends on what the soul was experiencing and feeling as it left that lifetime. Stacy replied. Her comment reminded Robert of that Pad had died at least twice while experiencing great fear. Once when he was attacked by the Indians in the prairie, and the second time as a soldier in the battlefield. And then again he thought of Penelope in chapter 4, who sought healing in this lifetime for fear she had experienced at the moment of death in previous incarnation. And basically, so what people are feeling at the moment of death is crucial. So definitely here they're talking about that during the death time, whatever we are thinking. So here that statement is there. Yes, as they are dying, they are thinking over their lives and the issues that are unresolved stick with them. Shortly after leaving the body, they usually make some decisions about that lifetime and what they do or don't want to repeat in a future lifetime. Then people should put themselves into the most joyful, loving space possible at the moment of death. So Stacy says, yes, in my experience, the best crossings are when people are surrounded by their loved ones. It's the most peaceful kind of crossing. So that is why, Masters, you have noticed many people in even our own homes, you might have seen as when you go to relatives, their last time is there. Now people call each other and they said they're now come. He's now there's no more time left. He's like maybe the next moment he will go. So you have to come. We get telegrams also, right? That kind. But that is the most peaceful kind of where they're surrounded by their relatives or their loved ones, and that is the peaceful crossing. So if your mind is peaceful, you are going to have a peaceful crossing. Like many who drink, Pat used alcohol to give himself a new identity. The alcohol did just that, only the identity gave him was not the one he had expected. So I will stop at this page, Masters. Now it's done. From 168 to 177, I think it would be Rupal ji, right? So, and then on Saturday, Sanjay ji will be doing. So, but thank you so much. I hope you got the points that we wanted to learn through this about fear, forgiveness, unconditional love. So any questions, Masters, or anything that you want to share or ask? You can all raise your hand, Masters, and then we can go into meditation. If not, anyone has any questions? I hope I was able to fulfill the Swadhyaya. No one has any questions. I believe you all are good. You understood. Yes. Yes.
I have namaskar
Namaskar,
to
yeah.
everyone. I have only one question. Pat's two daughters, Donna and
Catholic, yeah.
why? Yeah. So while they were planning, uh, actually, they were asking questions, right? They are not in spirit form, but why the daughters were in spirit form?
No. This is all Stacy is actually going into the trance state and looking into the pre-birth planning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's
So,
okay.
so
So,
when
okay.
this is all is because see, yesterday maybe you are not there, but it is all about the pre-birth planning because this book is about your soul's plan. So what is this?
Yeah.
What the soul has planned before birth? That is what we are talking about,
Oh,
right?
okay. I
Now,
thought they are asking. Okay. So
yes, yes.
Stacy was only okay. Then
Casey is the
okay.
guide, and
Yeah.
Patrick is the person whose story we are talking about right now. So Patrick is
Hmm.
married to Carol, first wife, through which he had three children. First is Kathy, second Donna. Both are girls, and one is and
Andrew.
son. And we spoke about all these three people's, not three, but four, five people's souls planning. We actually heard pre-birth planning,
Hmm.
what they have thought about, how will they grow spiritually, how would they perceive alcoholism, what would they understand, how would they help Patrick, and all those questions, right?
Hmm. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Sheelamji?
Namaste,
Namaste.
Madhuji.
Yes.
What I wanted to know was actually the soul plan they make and come. But in other books where I had read, like, Laws of the Spirit World, when they come here and start enjoying the materialistic world,
Mm-hmm.
then they forget what the purpose they came for.
Yeah.
They know that they want to evolve, so they take the birth. But then they go astray till an extent their soulmate who had encouraged them to get into this world to do work out that tries to come and try to remind
Yeah,
that this was
definitely.
not what you.
Definitely.
So
And my life had been a great example for this. Definitely, when you are living a materialistic life, when you come as a human being in this lifetime as a soul, my higher self is guiding me. But whenever I feel that I'm going astray, or maybe I'm deviating from my soul plan, my guides
mm,
or my whoever I have done my soul plan with, they maybe
mm,
I have planned something very great, major. I don't know, but that is what I think, that yes, I have this cognizance about it, that yes, I must have planned something very major with my guides, with my soulmates, that whenever I'm deviating, you have to come and help me, and this is where I'm going to take that stance. I'll go and make that action. So definitely many people, they are actually learning on that process, but maybe I have already learned all those things in my life, in this lifetime. Many things that I am learning or I have learned, I would say it is all because of the guides and their help, and people around me, maybe who I deemed as enemies and who I termed as my friends. Everyone is helping me learn. So now, today, if someone comes and asks me that, what do you feel about your this journey around you, your friends, family, or your whoever it is, who with whom you're not talking, I see them now as that they were as karmics who had come into my life to do something, to create something as a challenge, and then I get out of those challenges. They are actually helping me grow spiritually, right? Every now and then I'm growing spiritually, and that is where I'm very happy about it. That whatever whatever happened, it has to happen this way, so that I could grow and do something, right? And so your question, I think, same way. People, when they come here, they forget about their, what they were, but they come here, and then the guides, they actually help them to come and, like, if they have deviated from their path, they
soul
would
plan.
actually pull them
Mm,
back. They will let them know through different symbolism, guiding them, putting some intuition in their mind, or gut instincts.
mm.
Okay.
But tell me, then the first wife of Pat came with the intention of wanting to help him, but I don't think they achieved anything much, right? Except after
No,
three
no.
children was born.
She still whenever, like, in when yesterday, I think, who was reading? Day before yesterday, Pooja ji, and
Neeraj
I
was.
think, huh?
Neeraj.
Yeah,
Neeraj.
no. Day before yesterday, it was Pooja ji, then Nirja ji.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in both the days, we have learned that there was still there was love between Carol and Patrick. Why? Because um, that there was no judgment or no criticism that Patrick left Carol for Shirley, right? There was nothing
Mm,
like that. So they had
mm,
that immense love for each other at soul level and also in this physical incarnation also. That is where the learning was happening, right?
No, the learning is when there's so much of love. Couldn't she told no that she'll to help him to come out of that alcoholism.
No, she told na in this, like when I was reading, that she chose
Yeah,
that, I would
want you to
follow
follow
this
what I
way.
say,
No.
but
Yeah, you have to follow what I want to say. But then he says that here there was learning for Carol, that everything is not white and black. Something is gray
yeah,
also, that you can get away with gray things also, that you can learn in a different way also. It like there every time there is duality, but black and white, whatever it is, not only white, not only black, but you can also learn from the gray things also. It does not have to be, only black or only white. In between also you
so
can learn certain things.
it was more of a lesson to the Carol rather than her helping him out of his this thing,
Both of,
right?
see, every soul comes with a soul plan. For
Uh,
me or my husband, maybe when I look at him, I'm actually learning that I have to be more patient with him, more loving towards him, or maybe, that's what I'm learning. And I have to be, accepting him. Same way for him, it would be he has to listen to me, he has to follow something. So we both are learning. In some way, I'm also eating habits. I've learned so much from him. So, but the thing is, mostly green food. I would say salads and everything. I learned so much. But the other things also, that eating healthy. Eating healthy. Otherwise, I would have eaten fried food only. That's what many more things I can't say now, but there are other things also that we learn with each other. So not only Carol, but Patrick was also learning. Like Carol gave her unconditional love, that okay, you have left me, but still I love you. I have to, you broke my heart, but still I am opening my heart for you.
but soul plan, she knew that he is going to leave her halfway.
Yes. Higher self knew, but when you come into this physical body, you forget stuff, right? So you have to go inward. So definitely, Patrick is always saying that I'm sorry, but yeah, you have to go through so that you can learn, right? Everyone is coming with a soul plan. Okay.
Very difficult learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, Neerja ji.
Nicely done, Madhuji.
Thank
I
you.
was had the question. Sometimes it is not clear, like when they said that you should have the people close by so that the crossing over happens comfortably. But
Mhm.
if say the close people were not able to come, that
Mhm.
could have been part of the soul plan also.
You can say, you cannot say as well, but because, when your loved ones are there, you feel that love. You feel
Yeah.
love. Then there is, see, uh, how to explain? There's a personal story behind it. But according to what I have learned, when in my father's life, when he was, it was his last stage, definitely there was no one around him. But when I went to my house after 5 days, I reached from here to India. I could not meet him.
Yeah.
He was not there, and he used to love me a lot. As a daughter. Just like
Mhm.
when I was reading this story, um, I felt as if Kathy is me. And
Uh-huh.
I felt that Kathy is me. I'm like, I used to always, give him that love, unconditional,
Yes.
guide him, and I would say, don't do this, don't do that. Many
Yeah.
things are there. But here, that time when he was going, he was in hospital and there was no one. So I could not meet him. And I had some visa issues because, we had some
Yeah.
anything. I would not go there. But finally, I went to India to my hometown. And then the first day when I went there, I was sleeping. I was going to sleep. And as soon as I went to sleep, I was just into that state that I just took my bed sheet and I was just trying to sleep. And that vision came to me that my father is coming and with lot of gifts in his hand, lot of gifts.
Mhm.
And because all the relatives were there, and during that time when his last rites were had to take over and everything, my whole family was there, and which he would always crave about that nobody loves me. So, but during that time, he came with a lot of gifts in his hand, that he loved everyone unconditionally, and he was in that state that he felt loved by his relatives, by loved.
Entire family.
Yeah, so that made me, that makes sense that, when you are around with your loved ones, you are at peace.
Yeah.
Then you don't
In
have
my case, it was slightly this thing, like I went and came back, and 7 days after I came back, he passed away. And that was my second trip to India.
yeah.
And
So
I couldn't go back because the kids were in having some their SAT exams and all. But I was thinking that sometimes, when we are not able to go, because you'd go and come back and you're caught between kids here and there, then that time was that planned? Because sometimes I used to feel like, oh, I already extended my trip, but then I couldn't stay longer. So
yeah.
then you feel like, was that planned, or was that?
Yeah, because he did not want to, maybe if you would have seen, maybe you would be very much, just remember that state of yours when you came back and it happened.
Yeah,
How were you in that state? But you
yeah,
had this inkling that now he went in peace.
yeah,
So
yeah,
very important, right? So that is what peace is. One thing that I feel that they get when your loved ones are around you, you can die in peace. That now I know that you all love me, so
yeah,
I don't have any repercussions. Like if your friend, suppose you fought with your friend, a major fight happened, but then your friend comes to you, okay, forgive us, let's get back
yeah,
together. Then you have that feeling, peace.
yeah.
Peace comes,
And
right?
when my first dog passed away, the vet gave us the
Unconditional.
chance, because it was a health condition. So he passed in my arms when I was chanting Hanuman Chalisa,
Wow.
and
Wow.
then they let us be in that room, and he passed. So in my arms, it's very nice. Yeah, sad.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Neelja, I know you are teary-eyed right now, but don't be. See, we all are attached with our soul mates in the form of soul groups. Even animals are also the part of our soul groups and soul family. So everyone is there. Why our these groups are made? Because these animals, the in the form of our soul groups, they come, they help us because they want us to take out of that family challenge or any uh, physical challenge or any health issue. That is why they come in our lives, so that they can give us that unconditional love which no one has given us. So that is also one of the case masters. Thank you so much, everyone. So let us go into meditation, masters. And now we don't have 1 hour, but let's do 45 minutes at least. So let's begin. Take your position, masters. Sit cross-legged like this. Take your hands into, like fingers into fingers, and keep them on your lap and close your eyes. Let's begin, masters. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathe in, masters. And as you breathe in, remember,
Stop.
progress with each and every breath, coming in and going out. We are doing Anapansati meditation. So as you breathe in, remember to go slow and steady with each and every breath, coming in and going out. So at the start your meditation with 4 or 5 deep breaths. Breathe in deeply. Bring your concentration between your two eyebrows, as if you are pulling back all your power from all around you, wherever you are sitting, wherever you had been the whole day. Let's bring your power back into your own self as you breathe in and as you breathe out. So one by one, relax your head space, your facial expressions. Every breath that you breathe in is rejuvenating your body, mind, and soul. Try to relax your eyes, your ears, your facial expressions, your jaws, as you breathe in, masters. Try to relax your throat muscles, your gut, your neck muscles, each and every breath is highly rejuvenating. It enters your throat, your voice. Feel the energies of this full moon as well as you breathe in. There are a lot of energies around you, masters. The moon, when it is full, it has a lot of gravitational pull on the water bodies of planet Earth. Same way, it affects the water inside our bodies. With meditation, we go into more calming state. So as you breathe in, masters, feel this smooth, steady breath coming inside through your nostril, going inside and unblocking, opening all your nerves and your blockages. Are all opened. Any blocked doors or nerves are now getting opened with every breath. Each and every breath helps your shoulders, your arms, your hands, the palm of your hands and your fingers. As you breathe in, focus inwards. Feel the depth of each and every breath. And as you breathe out, you release any heaviness, any weight out from your shoulders and relax. As you are breathing in, masters, try to bring your attention towards your spine, your upper back, your middle back, lower back, and your 33 vertebrae. As you are breathing, your spine, your vertebrae, and your whole back is breathing along with you. Every breath enters the hollow of your spine, and you start feeling the sensation of every breath from the tailbone of your spine, experiencing as if your spine is breathing and going into that energetic state, feeling the pull of every incoming breath. Feel the breath going up towards your brainstem. And feeling this incoming breath onto your crown as well. Now, let us relax our heart and lungs as you breathe in. With each incoming breath, let your lungs expand and let yourself free as you breathe in. Feel the rejuvenation happening inside your lungs and your heart. One by one, as you breathe in, remember that you're opening doors into your heart. The chambers in your heart are now unblocked. Your arteries, your veins are unblocking itself with each and every breath. Now, take another deep breath, and this time focus on your stomach region. As you fill your nostril with incoming breath, let your lungs expand and feel the incoming rush of this life force energy into your stomach, your upper abdomen, your reproductive region, and your lower abdomen region, connecting with your large intestine and rectal area. Let your stomach muscles expand as you breathe in and feel the energies cleaning up your insides of your stomach, your sexual parts, and your rectal area. As if each and every part and the cells within are recharged, rejuvenating, and working efficiently. Every breath is highly important. Don't waste even a single breath. Every moment is pure, is filled with power and energy. As you fill yourself with this life force energy in your abdomen region, feel the core of your center of your being strengthened, and as if this core that is around your navel is projecting a shield out from your body. A shield that is made out of golden energy, golden light, full of strength which is healing you, energizing you, and surrounding you with this divine protective shield all around you. As if this shield has enveloped you. It started from your navel and now it surrounds you and your being. From the navel to the top of your crown, to the backside of your body, going deep down beneath your soles and coming back up towards your navel. Totally protected, totally secure. Your own energies are protecting you, securing you. Now, feel and imagine that you are pushing this shield one hand away from your body so that you feel that you are sitting in your energetic protection, just like an egg. You're inside your own protection. Totally relaxing your lower half part of the body, your hips, thighs, your calf muscles, the soles of your feet, and your toes. Feel the vibrations of every breath inside your muscles, your bones, and your toes. Now ground your energies with Mother Earth. As you breathe in, Masters, give your regards to Mother Earth and request to help you connect with her energies and help you ground your energies into her. Feel the connection between you and Mother Earth. As you breathe in, her energies are coming upwards into your body. And as you breathe out, you're grounding your energies into Mother Earth. Today, we are blessed to have the full moon. Today is the wolf moon, helping us, guiding us with our own truth. All around us, we are surrounded by full moon's energies. Feel the energies rising up and you becoming one with your breath and your own energies. As you experience this full moon, masters, remember the full moon energies and the light that it showers is helping us look into our emotions, which are now coming on surface to clear up. So today, if you feel very emotional or you feel that emotions are ruling your mind, the time has come to clear those emotions, to transmute those old emotional patterns, and becoming aware of your state, which can help you clear up and shift your perception, also helping you manifest. So take your time out if you feel any emotion coming on your mind's surface. Full moon time are very healing. Very potent energies are there which help you heal physically, mentally. It helps you heal your DNA patterns. Full moon energies help you raise your vibration and help you harmonize your energies. As you breathe in and as you breathe out, focus on your energies and let go of any heavy emotions, but work through them first and then let them go. Process everything. Full moon time is also a great time to ask help from your astral masters. Our guides, guardian angels. When we raise our energies, this is the best time to call on to any master and help them and ask for helping them with your life. Asking them to guide you. As you breathe in, masters, slow and steadily, try to forget about your body and only be aware how each breath comes in and how each breath goes out, as if becoming one with everything. full moon times, always comes with looking into your relationships, your work, your equations, maybe transforming your relationships, your work, career. Many things will come to the surface, helping you, realizing you, what and which things are meant for you and what are not, helping you release during these times, helping you transform and transmute old energies, consciously manifesting things. You have to let go of the old energies so that you can welcome new energies. Be with your breath, masters. Every single minute, every single second counts. Every moment of each incoming breath has the power to change your destiny. You are the master, creator of your destiny. Every incoming breath holds immense power. And as you breathe in and breathe out, always remember that we are powerful souls, peaceful souls. Love and peace is our birthright. We all are worthy for these energies. Just breathe in and out. We all are powerful souls, and we have chosen this time on planet Earth. Meet our fears to accept the unacceptable, to become patient, to give and receive. Might be connected to a lot of relations, equations in our lives. Why are they there? They are all incarnated as human beings. But in reality, we all are. We have come to planet Earth to learn our lessons. We have planned our birth. We have our journey, made soul contracts. We have soulmates in the form of friends, spouses, co-workers who are helping us in our soul journey. Or we experience from our experiences and grow spiritually. We all are one. But our experience life, our souls wanted to experience everything. And that is why we are all mirrored each other. Be it me, you, or anyone. soul chose to incarnate as in time. The part of sitting here are here to experience some other soul journey. But we all, and that we remember, that we are here to just learn and grow, stay happy, and be loved and give love. We are human beings in this lifetime, but we are human beings going through human experience. So stay, don't get too much with all situations in your life. Learn to accept and grow. Love, give love and balance. This is the soul state. Be in that state. With this, masters, please come back into your body's consciousness. One by one, start feeling your take a deep breath in as you sense your body, as you feel your body. Feel the vibrations of every in your body. Straighten up your spine, your neck, and your head. Feel your shoulders, and feel your toes and the soles of your feet. Feel the vibration. Now, let us begin and clasp your hands, palm of your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And whenever you feel ready, masters, you may unclasp your hands. So you may keep your hands away from your eyes and open your eyes with a beautiful smile. Thank you so much, masters. Thank you, thank you. If anyone still wants to sit in meditation, they can. So, masters, thank you for being here and thank you for sharing your time, space, and energy with us. If anyone wants to share anything or any experiences, you are free to do that. Please raise your hand. If not, then we can definitely end the session. I'll take my pause now for a while to let you raise your hand if you want to share anything. Thank you, Pradeep ji. Thank you, everyone. Okay, Masters, I take it you don't have any questions. So that's okay, and that's wonderful. Exactly, because during the full moon time, we should just focus inwards, and as much as you can save your energies, that would do good to us. So take your time, and we'll meet tomorrow again, same time. Thank you so much, Masters, and love you all, Masters. Thank you so much, Harshada ji, for being there. Thank you to each and every participant and Masters. So may we all be happy, healthy, and vibrant. Maybe transform and transmute the old energies that don't or does not belong anymore in our lives. Let us focus on manifesting positive and miraculous things in our lives. May we all stay happy, healthy, and vibrant. May we all be filled with love, peace, and higher vibrational energies. May we practice our meditation daily. May we awaken others and teach them meditation as well. With that, Masters, we are at the end of the session. See you tomorrow, same place with the same Zoom link at same time. Have a wonderful day and a very happy Republic Day to India people, and to people from here who belong to this part of the world who are in US. A very good night, Masters. Have a happy, resting, relaxing night. May we all rejuvenate and awake happy and healthy tomorrow. With that, Masters, I'm ending the session. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, a lot of affirmations. So, that's what we can do, affirming and creating our lives, because we are the creators of our destiny. And I can do that. You can do that as well. Thank you.